Morning yet? Oh, there you are. Good morning. Just kidding. Good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. And as usual, my friends, drink it if you got it. I bet you knew I was going to say that. I like this cup so much, I'm using it again today. If at first you don't succeed, try doing what Mitch told you to do the first time. I think it might have said in the first place. Either way, I agree. Great to see you all. Wow, 57 of you already. We're piling in this morning. Good deal, good deal. Me fade out the music professionally, like we do here in professional show business. Show business, my friends. Big announcement this morning. I'm feeling pretty damn good. Feeling pretty good. And I think I'm going to add Wednesday morning to the lineup. Bring it up to 4 days a week. Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is the private community live stream. Then on Friday, I have morning coffee, off Saturday. So right now, the only days I won't be here are Saturday and Thursday. And a little while longer, I'll probably add Saturday back in. Why? I enjoy this as much, if not more, than you do. And as long as I'm still able to keep doing it, I'll keep doing it. The future at this point, unless something unforeseen happens, it's looking better and better. How's that for a positive note to start this day? This Tuesday, the 20th of May. It is May 20th already. How could that be? Yesterday was New Year's Eve, it seems. Wow, 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 wow. Somebody said hi to Dr. Nelson. Nelson, are you here this morning? Good morning to you. I'll get to the chat. I haven't looked at it much yet, but I see it flashing by. I've been a busy boy. I have all that second studio equipment that I used to use outside. Not really up to carrying all that stuff outside yet, especially that big TV. But in the room that I have 2 offices in my house because it's just me, and I've got 3 bedrooms. The other room is kind of a multi-purpose room. It's got my exercise equipment in it. It's got my little workbench in there. It's got my editing computer in there. And I set the studio up as a second backup studio in there, which is kind of cool. The next time Nelson comes to visit and wants to join me in a live stream, I'll put him in the other studio. And we can each have our own window. So I thought what I would do tomorrow morning, is test it out. There won't be a backdrop because I don't have a green screen in there. But like outside, the room will make the background. And tomorrow morning, I will come to you live from that way. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So if you're the kind of person that likes disaster, goes to NASCAR to see the crashes, you might want to watch tomorrow morning and see what, if anything, just goes wrong, because there's a distinct possibility of that. I want to point out, don't I look handsome today and well? manicured. neatly trimmed. I was prompted to do that because in reviewing the video that I put out yesterday, I was shocked. I was shocked to see that my mustache was growing down over my teeth, for God's sake. Why won't somebody tell me? Why won't you tell me when I look like that? Holy cow. I said, what the hell? I look 10 years older there. And I ran in and trimmed it all. So I hope that you think that I look much younger today and better kept. Thank you, everybody. Oh, welcome to you. Welcome to you all. 90 people. We're up to a nice start today. Let's see. Do I have any announcements? Well, as usual, I got to plug my Buy Me a Coffee. I always appreciate that. It really, really helps. So let me go in here and enter that link. Oh, come on now, Mitch. Sorry. It's bad enough I got to do this. I shouldn't drag it out, I don't think. Let me put it in here. Chat and paste. There it is. If any of you are so inclined, I thank you in advance. Smoothie says, thought about saying something, but didn't want to hurt your feelings. My friends, there's nothing you can say to me that would hurt my feelings. Only if you're a troll and deeply insult me. But constructive criticism like, hey, Mitch, trim your damn beard. You're looking a little unkempt. Constructive criticism is always welcome as long as you will take it from me if it comes back the other way. Works both ways. Wow, talk much? It works both ways. And thank you, Smoothie. I appreciate that. Usually I'm my own biggest critic and don't need to be told these things. I just need to notice them. First one into the chat last night, 8 o'clock, when I put it up, was Lori Woo-hoo, she says. Tuesday just around the corner, and Smoothie was here early, and Rick, charge of Mopar, quack time in 12 hours. Cliff Medina said hi. Lizzie said hi. Lady June from the United Kingdom said good morning. Jemmett was here, see you at 8 hours, yes. And Mandy Meadows was here last night. Feral Grandma was here at 4 o'clock in the morning. Wow. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, I have to still consciously enunciate my speech. Y'all tell me how great it sounds. It's still an effort, but getting better. Unless I'm very tired. When I get very tired, I could swear I almost sound drunk. But still, it takes conscious efforts to do many things, including walking. Now, this morning, I tried something new. I got out of bed. I got dressed. And I usually get dressed sitting on the edge of the bed. I have to be sitting down to put my shoes and socks on. Well, at any rate, I got dressed, and I stood up, and I said, I'm going to not use my walker in the master bedroom. Just walk around close enough to things that I can grab onto. And for the first, I would say 5 minutes this morning, I walked with completely unaided. And I tried to keep that up until I tired. Didn't take long to tire out. But I did manage to get out, make my coffee, go to my family room, sit down to watch the morning news, and most of that was just walking around, and that was a giant leap. Unfortunately, evidently I only have so much reserve for muscle usage, and it is so taxing that it tired me out. But it was worth it. I'm going to continue to build on that. Wayne Herman from Lake Gaston, North Carolina, how you doing? And Mike Silly from Tampa was here this morning. Furrow Grandma. Back at 7 o'clock. DJ Bro. DJ Bro, good morning. Good morning, bro. How are you? Somebody new, father of United Carnivore. Mike Silly Sr. from right here in Melbourne. Rick chimed in this morning. Janelle Sebaski chimed in this morning from Wisconsin. Retired Rick is here. How you doing? And Sandy Blythe, see you soon. Patty's Garden. I'm early. Be back later, she says. We're up to 90. What is that? 903. 903 Harry Dion from Northern California. Boy, it's early. It's not too early to get up, but it's early. And Michael Pregler has some advice for us. 4 ways that equal great health. Eat meat, get sleep, don't have stress, and exercise. Right on, Michael. Right on point. Thomas Target, Prime Ribs here. Good morning, Mitch and the Mitch Fits. And I chimed in and welcomed everybody. 920, Rick is here. Aaron, Booby Goats. Only the coolest of the cool Mitch-Fits say hi before the stream starts. You guys are the coolest of the cool. There is no doubt about that. A small and militant bunch of meat eaters. Yes, sir. Yeah, speaking of that, I have a Back to the Kitchen video coming out this afternoon. I won't tell you what it is, but it's me in the kitchen. And, well, you watch. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy it. Rick, YouTube no longer seems to put your lives on my list. I have to look for it myself. Rick, YouTube works in strange and mysterious ways. Who knows? Who knows? But I appreciate you're looking for it. Aaron, so cold it's like ice. Well, is it cold where you are, Aaron? Wow. Wow. Yeah, Rick says cold is not a thing here. Tanya is with us. Kitchen Witch, how you doing? 924 says, on my 3rd cup of coffee. Wow, Tanya, you are caffeine powered. Is that all regular coffee, or you throw a little decaf in there? Claudia Berking is here. Good morning, all. And how we doing in time? 9:26. Tammy Petarch chimed in. Hi, Tammy. Said good morning, Mitch. Patty Bolden says good morning, fellow Mitch Fitz. Brian Dish. Brian Fly Fisherman D took the dish out of it. I noticed these changes. Anyway, Brian, good morning to you. Remember, you are what you eat. Absolutely. And my corollary to that is eat what you are, which makes a tremendous amount of sense to me. Why not the rest of the world? First coffee with Mitch, then some prep work. Tanya, you seem like you're always so busy, but if I remember correctly, yesterday you said you slept through it. So I'm glad that coffee kept you awake so you could be with us. 927 Couch Potato, Richard Williams. Good morning. Sharon McCabe is here, said good morning, and 929, Melissa B. Laurie's Carnivore Story. Rick Charger Mopar. Oh my God, here we go again. Here we go again, the winner this morning. Hey, is Gary again. The man's got it down to a science, and it is neck and neck between Gary and retired Rick. What a horse race. What a horse race. Congratulations, guys. I don't know what you're doing, but you two seem to either win or place just about every day. Anyway, I asked Johnny to tell you what you've won, but we've already been there. Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing. And right after that, Chris Swain. Peter chimed in. Hi, Peter and Marla Kelly. How you doing? Who is this? Harry Dion again. Pat Thompson, good morning. Sandy Blythe, Jemmett, Target, Prime Rib Thomas. I'm back, just made bacon and eggs. I'm going to do that, but probably about 11:30. I have maybe 11 today or after. I have my final visit from my physical therapist today. The last one that the insurance decided it was willing to pay for, and we both decided I'm pretty well on the right track, know what I need to know. So I'm not going to seek any more physical therapy. I could go to the VA for it, but I don't. I think I'm better self-directing. We'll see. We'll see if I feel there's something I need some work, or I maybe don't have the equipment or facilities to do it. I'll avail myself of the VA. They've got an extensive physical therapy department right at the clinic here, because they are dealing with so many disabled veterans, prosthetics, things like that. They're very well equipped and very knowledgeable too. So we'll do that. Charles Faircloth is with us. How you doing, Charles? Good to see you. Gary is talking to us in the past tense. Drank it when I had it. We'll get some more. Get some more. Carl Fabian's with us. Hi, Carl. How you doing? Remember, if you have any questions for me, or you want to introduce a topic of discussion and you want to get my attention, put some capital Q's, 3 of them, more if you like, in the chat, and I'll probably get to it before the stream is over. Lizzie's here, said good morning, Larry Ryan. Hi, Larry. Good morning, Mitch, and all the Mitch fits. Who else we got? Carnivore Police is with us this morning from California. Naruto is here. Hey, Naruto-kun, how are you? How are you? And Nelson Vasquez, Dr. Nelson, good morning, Mitch. Nelson, thanks for coming. How the hell are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Papa Carnivore says to Rick, evidently it's to somebody they both know, Carnivore Outlaw is being banned by YouTube. I don't know what that's about, but many of you probably do. If you do, throw some Q's in front of it and tell me why, what he did. So I'll be sure I don't do it. Who we got here? We got everybody starting to talk to each other. Louise Florette. Louise. Oh, Louise Florette. Somebody I don't recognize. Welcome. Welcome, Louise. Glad you could make it this morning. Mama Bear's with us. Hi, Mama. Good to see you. And everybody is saying hi. And Ebony Talks is with us. How you doing? Ebony sent me a nice email, and she has a channel, Ebony Talks, on YouTube. I told her, I answered her email this morning. I get a lot of emails. Sometimes I get a few days behind answering it. I try to respond to everybody's email, but I'll tell you what, maybe I don't think it applies to anybody here, but I get at least 5 or more emails a week from my viewers who want me to call them on the phone. Sometimes up to 10 of them. Usually, lately, it's been about, I had a stroke too, blah, blah, blah. I really would like to talk to you and share this and share that. And it's very nice. And I'm very flattered, honestly. I can't do it. I tried it a couple times. And occasionally it turned into somebody who wanted to be my new best friend. I got to the point with one of them, I seriously considered changing my phone number. I can't do it. There are too many people. I don't have the time. By the time I read all the comments, answer all the emails, make the videos, do the live stream, I can't sit around chatting on the phone. Even if it would be worthwhile, and I'm sure it would. My problem is I don't want people to think I'm not approachable or that I'm some kind of snob and too good to talk to you. I'm not. I just can't do it. Unlike most YouTubers, I at least answer my emails. Do you know I've been trying to get a hold of Ken Berry for almost 2 years? I've sent them emails. I have people telling me, ask Anthony Chafee about that. Right. Anthony Chafee doesn't answer my emails. I'm not going to go on a quest. I'm not going to sit through 3 hours of his live stream in the hopes that he might get to a question I gave him on a super chat. These people are unapproachable, unreachable, as is any other YouTuber that has a big audience. Now, I have a small audience compared to them, but I can't do it. So, to save me feeling bad about having to say I can't talk to you and trying very hard not to answer your feelings, assuring you that I will answer your emails until it gets to the point where you think I'm a new pen pal and need to email me or chat with me 27 times a day. I don't give out my phone number. I've been stung by that too. We can't do it. Not with the trolls out there. Not with the volume of viewers. So anybody who wants to talk to me, I appreciate that. Join the private community. Come on Thursday night. You will be able to talk to me face to face. I'm telling you. Anybody can do that. And that's about the best I can do. That's about the best I can do. Otherwise, if something's pressing, send me an email. OldGuyCarnivore@gmail.com. Peter says, yes, Rick is the most dangerous man in YouTube. Evidently, Moose. Oh, okay. We're still talking about. I wondered about the carnivore outlaw. Wondered about the carnivore outlaw. Well, I'm looking for questions. And I don't see any yet. Barbara S. is here with us. Good morning, Barbara. How are you? How are you? Nelson says good morning to everyone. I think that was a good move on your part when you stopped the 5 a.m. stuff and made it 6 a.m. I think you'll get more people able to watch you. I don't see questions. I'm reading all the chat, trying to see what I should comment on. So he said, that's the one about not hurting my feelings. There was my buy me a coffee link for what it's worth. And Smoothie thinks I'm looking dapper. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Tristan 471 says, good morning, Mitch. How are you? And I hope I can continue to give this answer. If I was any better, it'd be illegal. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for asking. Sandy says, I didn't notice it in your live. I have old eyes. That wasn't from the live. That was from the video that I recorded yesterday about that carnivore caused my stroke. That's still the question of the hour. I get asked that a lot from people who've had strokes who email me. I'm worried did carnivore cause it. I can't say. Who can say? Everything. Human body is so complicated. Everything interacts with everything else. But from everything that I know about carnivore, the fact that I'm going back to strict carnivore. I think we're going to stop with the ice cream, although I keep saying that. And that nagging little addiction. I'm going to stop. I'm going to basically go back to 2 meals a day, sometime before noon, and about 3, 4 in the afternoon. 100%, 0 carb, 0 sugar, 0 sweet things. I lived like that for 2.5 years. That was the best and healthiest feeling 2.5 years of my life. Ever since my hospital stay, they in 3.5 weeks, they managed to screw me beyond belief. I'll never stop being pissed off at them and the entire medical and what they call healthcare system for the way that they treat patients and the horrible things they do to their health when you're in a hospital for the purpose of getting better. I think more people than not leave the hospital as drug addicts and carb addicts. Crazy. And if I had been there much longer, they probably would have done it to me. I do not take the prescriptions that they prescribed when I left the hospital, except for baby aspirin to thin my blood a little bit because of everything they said. I already knew that, and that was the only thing they said, the only advice that I got that actually made any common sense, had any basis in fact and studies. The rest of it was bullshit propaganda. Brought to you by Nabisco and Pfizer. Crazy. You can tell I'm still passionate about that. It takes a trip to the hospital once every few years for me, for my anger to be stoked up again. But it is anger. How people can buy into this stuff. But we're all subject, no matter what we think. When something like a stroke or an accident happens, you're going to the hospital. Look out for yourself. Claudia says, so glad to be back in a routine with my morning with Mitch and the Misfits. Yeah, and I'm going to try to add another day tomorrow. Because between Tuesday and Friday was 3 days, and I didn't like that. It's too long. I miss this. I love it. DS111 says, my teenage daughter has not raised the bar. Yesterday, she insisted on groceries. All the usual sugary carbs and fake food and Coffee Mate grade coffee creamer, and I can't believe it's not butter too. DS111. Shame on her. And unfortunately, no matter how much you try to steer her right, you will accomplish only one thing. You'll drive her away. And that's sad. Teenagers, if you haven't learned it yet, are much smarter than we. Older folks, much smarter. In fact, I can't imagine they still talk to us. They consider us so backward and dumb. This brings to mind the old saying, and I said it before. As these kids grow up, it dawns on them that the older they get, the smarter their parents become. It's amazing. It's amazing. Sandy says, "Oh Lord, DS111. Yeah, what are you going to do?" And he wants to tell her that he wants to say, "You suck" to your daughter. You can't get to them at that age. I'm sorry, you can't give them your political views. They don't want to hear that. They hear all the propaganda from all the other young kids. And until something happens to them, they're never going to figure it out. Randy, good morning to you. Randy Weichel, how you doing? Good to see you. Uncle Sabine just got a slow cooker for Mother's Day. Make good use of it. Make good use of it. Bermuda Guy says, "You are doing so good with your improvement, Mitch. You inspired me to get out of this chair and do more. Thank you." You're welcome. You're welcome. And I'm now hanging upside down too, which is really helping my back. I haven't filmed it yet. So much to do, so little time. Hard to imagine for somebody recuperating from a stroke to say, "I'm so busy, I don't know what to do next." That's good. Otherwise, I would have time to feel sorry for myself, and I won't allow that. I won't allow that. I still don't see any questions, but I'm trying to participate in the chat. I mentioned it. I have a kitchen video coming out, and Tanya said, "Mitch in the kitchen." That's me. That's me. Umaira Jamil, how you doing? Dear Rich, from Pakistan. How are you? Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Here's somebody I haven't seen before. Always be kind. I like that. I like that. Words of wisdom. Yeah, DS111 says, "How many people do you think are in the hospital and wish they could be working like you?" Yeah. I don't. I have to work. At my age, most people are not working. I have to work. I want to work. My father did. My father was a pharmacist. He worked almost to the day he died. If you're not working, when people stop working and retire and have nothing to do except maybe play golf, they think, "Wow, I'm going to travel the world." And then they find out they don't have the energy or the health to do that because they need to stay near their doctors. Because they have to see their doctors twice a week. They have 10 doctors, one for each of the chronic conditions they have in the search for a healthy life. And good advice like eating healthy whole grains, fruits and vegetables. Stay away from that meat. By God, don't eat fat. It'll make you fat. Sugar's okay. So I know so many people, they finally retire and they die 6 months later. Keep working. Have a purpose. Got to have a purpose, even if it's a purpose that you invent for yourself. Kind of like what I did. if there's no place for you in this world, carve out your own niche and do something about it with whatever talents you have. That is advice that I would give to anybody getting older, because you think you're going to play for the rest of your life. You can't play for 20 to 30 years. Everything. Been there, done that. You've run out of stuff to do. You need to have a purpose to keep your mind sharp and stay active. But most of you know that. Most of you know that. So far, I haven't seen a QQQ. Come on, guys. Help me out here. You talk, everybody's talking with everybody else. Again, I feel superfluous in my own live stream. CB Carmack, good morning, my friend. How the hell are you? Driving again? Playing prisoner Uber. Do they have... Can you get Uber or Lyft to ferry your prisoners? I doubt it. What a thought. A dedicated company. There's so many prisoners. Where the hell are they all going anyway? Usually they're in jail. How come all these prisoners have to be ferried here to there? I know, court appearances, things like that. But wow. Well, good to see you, CB. Always good to see you. You know that. And we are at 9:50, about 15 minutes behind. Not bad, not bad. Haven't had any questions that would open rabbit holes this morning and get me talking, lecturing. The professor got the day off, evidently. I'll just be one of the gang this morning. Tristan says it's funny how carnivore is considered a fad diet, yet the Mediterranean diet, invented by Ancestral isn't. Yeah, well, because he's Ancestral. And even to this day, they credit Ancestral with saving the health of the Western civilization. You still get, Google him. They still praise him. They still show off that magazine with him on the cover. He lived to be 100 years old, and we talked about that. But his diet hard hypothesis, which was the key achievement of his life, was the start of every major health problem we have, because it opened up areas for greater profits in the food industry. That's all. He didn't do it all by himself. The big food companies, they thought, wow, you mean to tell me we follow this guy's advice, get rid of animal fats and replace them with ultra cheap soybean oil? Sign me up. We don't have to even lower the price of our food. It's going to cost us half as much to make. Grains. We can plant grains till the cows come home. When they do come home, we'll keep them there and feed people cheap grains. After all, that's what they gave to the slaves. Since the ancient Egyptians, it's poverty food. We like that. Let's go ahead and do that. And they did. And they flooded the market with the seed oils and the grains because they made a fortune. And how did they spend this fortune that they amassed? You and I both know. On propaganda, phony studies, advertising, and it became the norm for us. And it went on for years, and nobody challenged it. Well, then, sometime around 1970, 1980, the rates of these chronic, they call them diseases, but they're not. They are toxicities. The rates of diabetes, heart disease, heart attacks, dementia started climbing, and nobody could figure it out. And they went back to Ancel Keys's hypothesis, and they doubled down on it's the fault of too much red meat, and something that had been part of the human experience for millions of years now became deadly. It's impossible. Something that is responsible for the proliferation of a species over millions of years can't turn deadly in 30 or 40 years and be replaced with something that indeed is deadly just because it makes more money for people. And that, unfortunately, is where we're at. And Ancel Keys is still a hero. He moved to Italy and lived in the Italian countryside for the last 38 years of his life. I guarantee you, he was not eating the standard American diet as it exists today. He wasn't eating his food out of a cardboard box or cellophane bag. He was eating real, whole foods, even if they were plants. He was eating fish. He was eating meat, goat and lamb, I'm sure. He was eating like they eat in Italy before the first McDonald's was built there. And that's healthy. And he coined, I didn't know that he coined the term Mediterranean diet, but it's appropriate. Unfortunately, that did not replace what he's known for, the diet heart hypothesis, which is dead wrong. And that's what we're stuck with today because, and this is obvious, at least to me, there's no profit potential in selling us the foods that compromise the Mediterranean diet compared to the foods that came to be because of the demonization of animal meat and fat. Not enough profit, no motive. It's expensive to get even produce, fresh produce, to the masses. It's not as expensive to fill something full of chemicals, give it a shelf life of 2 years, distribute it to every convenience store, every big box store, every supermarket, and do it cheap enough so it can be sold at an enormous profit for the retailer as well. Nobody has the money motive to feed us what is really healthy food. What they've done is they have convinced us that this cheap crap, disease-causing stuff is healthy, and they don't hesitate to print that all over in bright colors all over the label. Good. I feel better now. I got a little rant out of me. I love it. I love it. And I can't say that stuff enough. It is the common sense behind the way we eat. And when people call it a fad diet, because that's where we started, that's it. Yet again, propaganda, apologetics, all from the people who are making the most money when we don't follow their dietary advice. How did we get so corrupt and crooked? Is it just human nature? I don't know. I do not know. There's some cues. Aaron, thank you. First cues of the day. I have cured my fainting spells by adding electrolytes. I figured I didn't need them. Oh well. Thanks for the homemade electrolyte videos. Wow. Thank you for telling me. There are certain things that are just obvious, Karen. They're just obvious about this way of eating. The first thing is it's ancestral. Got to count for something. Second thing is every nutrient our species needs is there, or else our species wouldn't be here. The humans didn't come first, then the food. The food came first, then the humans adapted to it and prospered. Had we not been able to adapt to it, we would have gone extinct, like so many millions of species have in the past. The environment is the environment. Adapting to that is up to life, and life is a great test. Throw the life into the environment. If it survives, yay. If it doesn't, adios. So there's that argument for the fact that what we've been eating for millions of years is most likely and logically the correct thing, because if it didn't contain all the nutrients we need, we would not have evolved to prosper on it. But is the version of meat today the same as meat was as recently as 100 or 200 years ago? What have we humans done to the environment that creates the food that may have made it short of certain nutrients that were always there up until as recently as decades or 100 years ago? And unfortunately, that is the one thing we need to be aware of when we eat and practice the carnivore lifestyle. We need to say to ourselves, yes, beef, butter, bacon, eggs, fish, goat, lamb, all of these foods historically contained everything I need. But do they now? After 100 years of raping the soil, of feeding animals grains instead of letting them graze on pristine pastures, feeding chickens soybean meal? And the answer is no. It's different. And the thing that we can do for ourselves is simply find out what's missing and supplement it. And in that respect, I'm not anti-supplement. The most egregious of these things is the lack of electrolytes and even iodine in the soil. Doesn't get into the grass. The cows don't eat it, and it doesn't get into the cow. The humans eat the cow, but they don't get what wasn't in the soil in the first place, because that's how it works. Like the little fish eating the bigger fish, which is why big fish these days you got to be careful of, because they can contain and usually do a lot more mercury, because they ate all the little fishes that ate the smaller fishes, that and the amount of mercury just increased the bigger the fish got. That's why so many people recommend little fish, the anchovies, the sardines. Less likely to get mercury poisoning than you are from a 400 or 1,000-pound tuna or a shark. So electrolytes, I don't think you can OD on them, and I don't think it would hurt anybody unless you live in the countryside of Italy on a farm and raise your own livestock on pristine pastures, and your chickens go out into the field and peck and eat the appropriate amount of worms and grubs from the ground that isn't polluted with pesticides and everything else, and glyphosates, herbicides. We have to be conscious of that. So for me, I do supplement electrolytes, and that's why I made that video, because they seem to work for me, evidently for Aaron too, and they cost almost nothing compared to what the commercial brands of electrolytes cost. But I still think it's a good idea to consider them. A couple drops of iodine in my coffee every day. I don't think it can hurt. It's hard to quantify the benefits, but I think it makes sense. And I was supplementing vitamin D, and this is going to make Boyd Lamb very mad. But since my stroke, I decided to stop taking the vitamin D and K2 just because there's evidence that K2 can be a coagulant, and that's the last thing I want. And if I got to blame my stroke on something, maybe. Vitamin K2 was more of a culprit than the carnivore diet. I don't know. I don't have any evidence of that, but I cut that out. I think I can live without it. I lived my whole life without it. I'll continue to live without it. We take the best shot that we can. That's all. Take the best shot that we can. Anyway, thanks for the question, Aaron. Made me feel like you guys are listening. Where are we? It is 22 minutes after I am up to. I'm a half hour behind now. You're a very busy man, says Naruto. You're a very busy man. I appreciate just doing the live stream, but my pleasure. I enjoy him. I like company. And in a lot of respects, it's like you guys are in the room with me here. Especially on Thursday night when I see your face. So, Thomas, being in an attempt to be funny, instead of actually typing the Q's, he typed 3 capital Q's. Now, either that's Thomas attempting to be funny or cute, or he's got voice typing and he said 3 capital Q's, and that's what it did. Oh, and I see a question just came in a few seconds ago from Tristan with 6 Q's. It says, does the carnivore diet have any effects on ADHD? I would have to say that not only does it have any effects, I would say that if you feed your kid, if your kid is a carnivore, he will not have ADHD. Because there won't be a deficit of any nutrients, especially in his brain. When your kid eats enough fat and cholesterol, I believe he'll have a healthy brain and he won't become mentally ill. And I believe that the incredible rise of ADHD can only be blamed on the stupid pure sugar diet that our kids get now from the womb on forward. And I think that's pretty well accepted. But the drug companies love it. The percentages of children taking these drugs, Ritalin and like that, is astronomically profitable. Back to Thomas's question. Mitch, can you explain why my sugars are not going as high as they used to go as high as 250 to 300, now no higher than 150, when I've had to cut my insulin in half? Thomas, you know the answer to that. You're becoming more insulin sensitive. You could talk on that for hours, but when you cut out sugar, your insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, call it what you want, is going to get better. the smaller amount of insulin that you need to produce becomes like super effective. And your blood sugar is certainly going to drop until, if you keep this up, you should, in a period of time, and it might take a year, 2 years, have normal blood sugar and not need any insulin at all. But when you go to a carnivore diet and you are on insulin, prescribed insulin, you can almost count on the fact that if you don't reduce your dosage over time, you will have way too much insulin and therefore hypoglycemia, which is not good. But usually, before that happens, your cravings, your body throws cravings at you that you can't resist, and you're diving into the candy bars. Good question. Well, let's see. Lambs is here. Hi, Lambs. How you doing? Good to see you. Terry Sue. Hi, Terry Sue. You were sleeping in. Oh, my God. You were conspicuous by your absence, sweetie. Glad you made it. Glad you made it. A lot of conversation going on. Everybody's saying hi. I don't know what I did, but Tommy said, way to go, Mitch. I like that. I like that. Carolyn loves Elvis forever. The entire price gouging medical system. They don't care or want us to get healthy. Yeah, of course not. They want to build more hospitals, more dialysis wards, more nursing homes. Huge business. It's a major part of our economy. If everybody in this country got healthy, we'd be in a depression financially. You can't win. You can't take 50, 60, 70, 80 years, build up the kind of economy, the number of professions and jobs related to the massive increase in the need for medical care. Care is a misused word. And expect the economy to keep rolling. Problem with this is that the government is paying for most of it, and the fear is if it gets any worse, it's going to break the government. You can't have $4 trillion worth of medical costs a year paid for by the government and expect them to just absorb it without increasing the national debt, printing money. The answer to fix everything is, and it won't happen overnight, but slowly educate people, get them back on a good diet, and try to treat the addiction they have. That's the only way you're ever going to get them to eat right. No common sense is going to do it. Nothing will fight that addiction to the sugar. They've seen to that. I know that for a fact, how easily it was to wake up my addiction, which never goes away. So unless it's just a mass awakening to this, it'll never be fixed. Just like we can't get rid of drug addicts, alcoholics. We'll never get rid of carb addicts. That would be the hardest. We can't. Our only hope is to not create new ones. Our only hope is that in 50 years from now, if the current generation of babies and young children can be raised on real food without sugar and don't get addicted, then and only then, I believe, we stand a chance of actually fixing anything. We still talk about it, though. We can fix it for ourselves, one case at a time. Be a little community of Mitchfits, and the rest of them out there, whether they be Ken Berry's followers or there are a lot of us, but that's the best we can do, is appeal to people's common sense. Educate them as to why they have the problem. Not many YouTubers spend a lot of time on this. Not many people who come to the low-carb, carnivore, keto community succeed. Not many. Not many. as evidenced by the fact that, what do I got, 140 people here. 140 people out of the millions of people that are sick and suffering. 140 of us have figured out there's something to this. That doesn't say much. That doesn't say much. Not when you put up a recipe for the moistest devil's food cake on the planet and get 2 million views in the first 2 weeks. That happens. 2 million views. And it's the money. You know how many times I think to myself, maybe I should change this to an old guy bakery and put up recipes for decadent things, show them how to make these things. I'd be killing a lot of people, but I'd be making a fortune. It takes, I don't know, maybe I'm a masochist. Never mind. Joseph Stevens, I wonder, is making the adjustment to eating meat raw the best thing for carbs? No, I don't buy into that. I don't want to eat raw meat. I'm sorry. You could take your raw meat and stick it in the other end of your digestive tract as far as I'm concerned. Go to hell with your raw meat. There's no way in hell I'm going to eat raw meat. Who knows what it's been contaminated with in our ridiculous system and supply chain, number one. Number two, we've been cooking meat for 1 million years as a species. Not only have we been cooking it, we've been burning it, charring it, holding it over a fire on a stick. That's absurd as far from a common sense and historical level to be pushing raw meat. Are there a few more nutrients in it? Maybe. But I don't care. If you're worried about not getting enough vitamin B, eat another 2 bites to make up for whatever you think the cooking destroyed. Wow. If I hear that again, people talk, raw meat's going to ruin the carnivore, raw meat, a pox on those people that are pushing this raw meat. If you want to eat something raw, eat an egg. Make your ice cream with eggs. Drink a couple of eggs every day if you can tolerate it. I don't like it. The thought of it makes me sick. But a lot of people love to gulp down raw eggs. You know why? Because the nutrients are in the egg and not subject to the environment of processing. You stand the best chance of actually getting safe nutrients. But eat raw chicken or pork. I'll let Joey Schwartz, if you all remember Joey Schwartz, I'll let him do that. That's nuts. That's nuts. Steak tartare, raw hamburger is about as close, I think, and I won't eat it, but in France, they eat steak tartare and put a raw egg in it. Okay. That's great. If you like that kind of thing, go right ahead. But you better know that it's really fresh beef. You better know where it came from. An awful lot of people have died from salmonella, trichinosis, and many other diseases because meat wasn't cooked enough. I just don't want to hear about it. I know they sound a little bit, God, somebody tell me, why doesn't somebody tell me to shut off that stupid banner? Oh, yeah, I thought I was doing so good. Not leaving comments up there for a half an hour. And what happens? I got that stupid banner running at the bottom, which I just want to be up. I just want to be up. To date on what I've got on the screen. Oh, well. don't feel bad about reminding me if you see that there. Sandy Blythe asked the question because Peter corrected her and said, I don't see the QQQ. If I missed that, I'm sorry. And Joseph Stevens, hope I didn't offend you with my reaction to the raw meat thing. I just don't want to hear it. So that's what I think. I mean, I did answer your question. 10:04. I'm a half an hour behind. I got to hurry up now and get to the end. Sandy says, yes, Peter, it was QQQ. Please don't get Mitch upset again. I'm not upset. I'm passionate. There's a difference between being upset and passionate. Grana's Garden Story says, question, have you been back to mixing your electrolytes? Or did you have enough? I had enough. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to have to do it again in about, I would say about 2 to 3 weeks. If you think I should video it again, I'll do that again. Let me know. Oh, Rick did it on purpose. I didn't miss it. I saw that, Thomas. I answered your question. I got to it eventually. The problem is, as behind as I get, I don't get to your questions until a half an hour. At least until the end. So don't give up on me. I'll get to it. I will get to it. Thomas, Mitch, why do you think the carnivore diet is helping people like me to have low? I've talked about that ad nauseum, Thomas. You know the answer. I would go over it again if I wasn't over time, but you know the answer, and I've talked about it 1,000,000 times. For the same reason that so many diabetics are able to go off their drugs. The lack of eating sugar. Question from Randy Weichel. Do you get an annual wellness physical for Medicare? If so, what do you say to the doctor when they comment on your blood work? Well, I get mine from the VA, so it's got nothing to do with Medicare. And my primary care provider at the VA is a nurse practitioner that I've known for 9 years, and she knows very well not to suggest anything dietary or cholesterol related to me. And I think I've actually got her believing most of what I believe. It's just that she can't dare let on that she believes that, or she'll lose her job working for the government. Tommy Pitarch says, thoughts on grass-fed liver capsule. I'd say, why? Many carnivores, including me, live perfectly without any organ meat. So I don't believe you have to have that stuff. Many people say how great it is. You can also overdose very easily if you eat too much of it. I'm just not a liver person. I'm certainly not going to eat brains and guts. Sorry. But a lot of people think it's good. I don't know about the capsules, though. If you're going to eat liver. Real liver. Fresh liver. Saute it, do whatever you want. Chicken livers. Anyway, Mitch is it better to eat raw or cooked? I think cooked, but that's an opinion. I don't eat vegetables, so it's not an issue there. And since all I eat is meat, I'm not going to eat raw bacon and raw eggs for breakfast. Sorry. I like my eggs well done. Obviously, I'm still alive, so I can't be doing too much wrong, especially after that stroke. Wang Ling, here's your daily Wang Ling question. Do you think it's better to tell your doctor that you're on the carnivore diet and not taking the statins he prescribed, or keep your mouth shut and smile? Well, I think it's better to find a doctor that doesn't fire you because you told him. I think that if you're strong enough in your convictions, just for the fun of it, I tell your doctor, I tell mine. I poke holes in every lame excuse she comes up with to the point where she decided I can't win a debate with this guy. Maybe he's got something there. And year after year, I think I bring her a little closer to reality. If you have that kind of relationship with your doctor, fine. If your doctor is a stone idiot, get rid of him. If your doctor gets mad at you, Well, if you're not going to do what I say, why do you bother coming here? You can't. You go to hell, doc. I come here because I need blood tests. That's all. You think I come here for your advice? Don't be afraid of your doctor. That's why they all loved me so much in the rehab hospital. I wasn't afraid to tell these doctors exactly what I thought of them, followed by a shame on you. You'll never win a popularity contest, but hopefully you'll be healthy. Joseph Stevens, Mitch, is it better for our... Oh, been there, okay. Mitch is not a raw meat person. Grant, I was going to... Boy, you guys have woke up with the questions. Question, how much butter every day on carnivore? If everyone ate real butter every day, that would be a lot, wouldn't it? Same with grass-fed beef and grass-fed... Yes, well, you eat the best you can find. I don't eat butter every day. I don't eat butter at all. Occasionally I cook things in butter, but I don't put butter on anything. Mostly people put butter on vegetables. I sear my steaks in butter. When I don't make bacon and have no baking grease in the pan, I'll put butter in the pan to cook my eggs. I cook my fish, my salmon, I saute it in butter. But that's the only time I use butter. So the butter industry is not going to make any money on me. There's not going to be a shortage of butter because I eat. But I think that if you are eating too much chicken, too much pork, too much lean meat, not getting enough fat, butter is a great way to just add some fat in. And you can put butter in coffee. You could eat it from the stick. But I'm not one of these people that could envision myself eating a stick of butter like a candy bar. Ugh, sorry. I've never been a real dairy person, except for ice cream, because it's got sugar in it. Oh, yeah. Melissa B. question, speaking of fish, I got my salmon from Ancestral. I'm going to try a cooking method on them. Can't wait. I haven't had salmon. Yeah, you'll like it. I got another couple of bags of it the other day. It's great. I really love it. Oh, Tristan's got another 6Q question. Does a carnivore diet have any effects on HDHD? I asked it already. I saw that when it came in. Yes. I think it absolutely has effects. If you can get your kids, to eat it and give up the sugar. But by the time they're 2 years old, they are already stone carb addicts, unfortunately. They've been getting sugar in the baby formula as treats and rewards. Good boy, little Johnny. Here's some ice cream. Well, we don't know that we're doing that to our kids, but we have created a complete and whole generation of hardcore sugar addicts. And we're seeing the results of that with 12-year-old diabetics. 50% obesity rates among children. Mental illness going through the roof among children. Crazies. If this latest generation doesn't obliterate the human race, we'd be lucky. Sharon McCabe, I'm a hard ass, aren't I? Sharon McCabe, where can I find pork rinds that are fried in tallow? Well, you don't need to find pork rinds that are fried in anything. They shouldn't be fried in anything. They are all fat to start with. Why would you fry them in fat when they're made of fat? And it all renders out. So the best pork rinds are fried in their own rendering, which is not tallow, because that's beef fat. It's lard. Pork fat. The festival told me they are soaked in water and then fried in peanut or vegetable oil. Yeah, don't eat those. Should say ingredients: pork skins, salt, maybe. I know the ones at Sam's say smoked flavoring. That I don't like that, but for the amount of pork rinds that I eat, which are Seems like a lot, but not outlandish. I'm not going to worry about it. But you don't want it says fried in vegetable oil or something like that, and got a heart healthy sticker. Basically, anything with a label that says healthy or heart healthy on the outside is bad for you. You never see a ribeye steak with healthy plastered all over it. You only see poisonous things that they want you to buy with healthy, hard healthy. The people who use these logos buy them. They don't earn them. Ask me how I know that for a fact. Okay, I'll tell you. It happens in all industries. You remember the Better Homes and Gardens magazine? They used to best hospitals, best lawyers, best doctors. Remember that? Well, in my computer work, I do websites for a few law firms. Every year, they buy one of these best lawyer endorsements from a big magazine or something. Newsweek, one of those, Time magazine. It costs them about $1,500 to get the right to use that badge. And they send that to me and say, put this on our website, would you please? And they send me the email, which is basically just a receipt for what they paid for the badge and a link to where I can download it. That is what's happening with the Heart Healthy logo. It is sold to anybody that wants to pay thousands of dollars every year to enjoy the fact that they can put it on their food. That's the truth. It's all bullshit. All of it. Oh, wow. Question again shows how to make your pork rinds. My pork rinds, Sharon, come from Sam's Club in a big plastic bottle, and they're not bad. I'm not going to be making pork rinds. I'm certainly not going to fry them in any oil. If I had a farm and slaughtered pigs, and had all that pig skin, I'd make my own pork rinds. But other than that, I'm going to buy them. I found the Clancy's pork rinds at Aldi aren't bad either, unless they have adulterated them. Since I don't go get to Aldi's much, mostly Sam's. But they're great pork rinds, and the ingredients are pork skins and salt. That's it. That's all you need. That's all you need. Frying a pork rind in vegetable oil is as absurd as frying a fat ribeye in vegetable oil. Where is the common sense? Oh, from a shortage of questions to a glut. Wow. Fran Mariah, question: What evidently his voice typing again has struck non-GMO about non-GMO with the butterfly logo and soy sauce. Oh my God. This is great. Let me tell you something. Anything that comes from the soy plant, anything, is to be avoided at all costs. You know the expression, it's like putting earrings on a pig? Well, that is what this is. Soy sauce is poison. It's poison. Anything from soy is poison. Soy is not meant not only for human consumption, it's not meant for animal consumption either. It is one of the main culprits screwing up the supply of meat and poultry in this country. That's All I got to say about that. Target prime rib question. I don't know if Mitch knows I respect him and value his opinions as a person. That keeps me on this path of Carnivore. Thomas, I do know that. Thank you so much for that. That was a great compliment. Great compliment. Yeah, and Huang, he knows. Oh my God, don't eat soybeans. Yeah. Beat you to it, Huang. Uh, again, he says, what are some of the worst non-carnivore foods that other people eat on a regular basis? I wish I had time to go into all that. I don't today, but soybeans has to top the list. Soybeans has to top the list. I have a coffee. Somebody was kind to me today. Let me see who did it. June. Thank you, June. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you, and thank you so much. And what was your message? Did carnivore cause my throat? Thank you. Oh, my great video yesterday. Thank you for being open and sharing your story. Great to see you getting stronger every day. Yes. Good job on your beard trim. Thank you so much. Thank you for the validation on that. Yeah, Terry Sue, people are going to try that new sugar diet and get all addicted to that. Yeah. It is amazing just when you think they can't come up with something more absurd and harmful. Well, there's not much else to say. There's the raw or meat question. We got that. Are we nearing the end? 10:33 now. I still got a ways to go. I'm going to race and look for the questions now and stop reading these things. Tammy says, do you wash your chicken? And my answer is absolutely not. Only chicken I eat anymore are chicken thighs with the skin on, and I just throw them in the air fryer. And believe me, if there's anything in them that is bad for me, it's going to get killed in extremely hot air fryer. Yes, sir. No, I don't. I may. Sometimes I think maybe ads contaminate by washing it. Who knows what's in the water? Beach Bum Bob says, no question, but have you checked into the stroke recovery clinic in Florida? I think he means checked into it as looked into it, as opposed to actually physically checked myself in. They use repurposed, FDA approved, try to help patients recover, prove what? Functions, brain fog, walking speech. That's the last place in the world I would ever want to go to. Any of those clinics, as far as I'm concerned, are just frauds. Maybe wrong, and maybe I shouldn't generalize, but it's like Sonobello. Get all this fat sucked out of you. No. The fewer people that claim to be part of the medical profession that I interact with or rely on, the healthier I'll be and the better off I'll be. All this damage that's happening to us is coming from somewhere. Where's all this advice come from? Those that are making the most money. I may not always be true, but it's true enough that I can pretty well use that as a given. Question, do you eat lamb? I don't, but lamb is great in a lot of respects, regarded as better than beef. I just haven't had lamb since I was a kid. My mother used to make lamb chops. I can't fuss around with lamb chops, not for just one little bite of meat. But no, it's great. It's great. I think it's cheaper than beef, too. I keep threatening I probably should try it, but I don't know. I only eat, 1-2 meals a day, and I got so many other things to eat that I never think about it. Come on, Mitch, get down to the bottom of the chat here. We'll be here all day. I make a commitment to try to get to the bottom of the chat, and as such, end up going overtime, and that's okay because the audience, 132 of you, is still here. All right, 10:49. Jemmett says, I'm looking good and sounding great. Thank you, Jemmett. I appreciate it. I can't believe it's not butter is the name of the product. And my daughter said, yeah, I can't believe it's not butter. Oh, wow. What does that say? That says, hey, folks, we have figured out so many chemicals and crap to put in this thing that we can actually claim that we've recreated the taste, texture of real butter without actually having to be healthy. Poison yourself and enjoy the taste of real butter at the same time. That's what the commercials would say. Lot says, how much more stupid will people be, especially after the sugar diet? Is humanity doomed? I've said that, long since said that humanity is doomed. I've said we're in the beginning of the end of the great extinction. I'm just so happy I won't be around to see it. It may take many generations, but I think we've passed the point of no return. Sorry to give you a doomsday scenario. I think we've passed the point of no return, considering everything that we have now. Artificial intelligence, technology, nuclear weapons, but biggest of all, poisonous food. It's so entrenched, it would be impossible to fix. We're all addicts. I think we're doomed. What can we do about it? Nothing. What can we do about making our lives better? Maybe our children, for as long as it lasts? Well, that's why we're here. That's why we're here. Don't want to be a bummer. I wouldn't worry about it. It's not going to happen in our generation or our children's generation. I did it. I did it. I did it. I got to the end of the chat. I got to the end of the chat. Yes. Yes, it only took me an extra half an hour. So, at any rate, my friends, it's time. It's time to call it a day. I think I'll call it Tuesday. Play a little happy music. Get on with the rest of my day. Look out for my video, my kitchen video this afternoon. Hope you enjoy it. Aaron says goodbye, everyone. Wang Ling says bye. Lori's Carnivore Story says bye. I tell you what. B-Y-E. Mitch says bye. Claudia Burkick, everyone have a great day. Good to see all of you. Yes, you're going to be stuck with me again till tomorrow morning if you'd like, and I'm going to try out my backup studio. So, I won't have a background, a fancy background. I don't think I'll have sound effects. I will have music, however, and one camera. So, the over-the-shoulder shot, probably not have that either, but we're going to see how well it works. And I can, having that in there, not worry about the fact that I sat down in front of my computer some morning to do a live stream and it broke. I'll have a backup studio. Why not? I have the equipment. May as well use it. So, it's a great day. It's pretty outside. Everybody enjoy their day. And as the music ends, the timing is perfect. Once again, professional show business rears its head. I will tell you, take the rest of the day off and eat meat. preferably cooked.